Okay, now we're ready to talk about navigating around your MyShalom learning environment. To do that, let's click on Let's Learn. It takes you into your table of contents view. It's called that because if you look down the left-hand side here, here is your table of contents. And you can see that everything is organized by value. Within each value, you've got your 4 weeks. Within each week, you have what we're going to call the Let's Learn activities. You can also, I know some of you have taught before, you can call them the flipped classroom activities, or these are the self-paced activities. These are the activities that your students will be doing before their online class each week. And the most important thing you need to know about them, if you're looking at the MyShalom Learning from this particular view, is that in order to access an activity, you actually have to click on the blue link. For example, if you look at this second activity, it looks like you're seeing the video here. It looks like you're seeing the questions and you're seeing the video. But if you want the full functionality of the activity, you have to click on the blue link, and now you're actually in the activity. Now your questions, the video, and underneath it is the actual discussion thread. And that will make more sense to you in a little while when we go back and talk about discussions. For now, the important point is, let's get back. When you're looking at it in the table of contents view, this is really just a menu page. You're not really in the activities. So just to repeat, within each week, you've got the series of activities, and then you have your lesson plans and your resources. So let's take a look at the lesson plans. Week 1 will always have a few extra lesson plans in it because week 1 for each unit will always contain an introduction for the unit, and it will also contain an extra parent education lesson plan. The other units will just have a lesson plan and the PowerPoints. The lesson plans are for you to print out and then follow along and use appropriately. The PowerPoints you will be downloading from here and then uploading into your online environment. If you're teaching the Shalom learning materials in a brick and mortar classroom, you'll simply be projecting these PowerPoints onto a screen and using them from there. Next item is your resources. And if we click back for a minute let's go into a lesson plan. The lesson plans follow in parallel with your PowerPoints. But each time there's a video that you need to show or a handout that you might need to show on the screen for the kids. Go back. Whoops, sorry about that. We've provided all of that for you in the resources folder.
A question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I click on the link in the lesson plan? Will it work, or do I have to go to the resources page?
The lesson plans are PDF files, so the links are not operable within the lesson plans, which is why you have access to everything you should need in the resources folder.
Okay.
And again, it's recommended that you print out the lesson plan simply because it's easier to work with a piece of paper in one hand and the screen next to you than having to click from screen to screen to screen to screen. Now, let's go back for a minute and take a look. So calling this the table of contents view, let's go back and see what the students are seeing. I'm going to switch for a minute to view as a student. The students don't need to go in and see the table of contents view. The students can just click through the activities. So they're going to start in this Let's Learn box. They'll click on Teshuva. They'll click on week 1. They'll click on their activity. And we're not going to go through and do the whole quiz right now. What's important to know here is these arrows right here. This is how they're navigating. So when they're done with the kickoff questions, they'll just click right on to the next activity. And they'll watch the video. Yep.
Is there a way to stop them from getting into week 2? Because maybe they would keep going and not say that it changed into, and not notice that it changed into the second week or the third week?
Yes, and we're going to get to that a little later on. So hold on to that question. Yes, there is, because it's a really good question that Leanna asked, because watch what happens if you keep clicking. Now, in my case, even though it says as a student, it took us into the lesson plans because I'm not really a student. Which brings up another interesting point. If you click on student management, well, let's get back to me being an instructor. You click on class list and scroll down. You can get a list of all the students in your class. And you can impersonate a student. And this shows you a much better picture of what the students are actually getting. See, now the lesson plans are completely disappear. And this is what Leanna was talking about. You do your kickoff questions. You're a student now, you're watching your video, you post your answers to the questions. And then it brings you right into week 2. So there is a way to prevent that, and we will get to that in a little while. Let's bring me back. Any other questions about navigation? Again, the important thing to understand when you're in the table of contents view is that you need to click on the blue links to actually get inside an activity. Any other questions just about navigation?
Nope.
Okay, so that wraps up our session on navigation.